Hello everyone, this is Norris, your immigration consultant. This time I would like to discuss with you about hiring a foreign worker as your in-home caregiver. But before that, I wanted to give you an overview about this. The temporary foreign worker program is intended to be used when you are facing short-term skills and labor shortages, and only when no Canadians and permanent residents are available. Under the temporary foreign worker program, families can hire foreign caregivers. However, the caregivers must provide care on a full-time basis, minimum 30 hours per week, work in the private household where the care is being provided, meet the requirements set by the Employment Social Development Canada or ESDC, and the Service Immigration Refugee and Citizenship Canada or the IRCC. So when we talk about in-home caregiver program, there are two things with this, either for caregivers for children and caregivers for people with high medical needs. I would like to discuss about caregivers for children. It says on the website that children under 18 years of age. However, to be honest with you, I just wanted to let you know that when you're trying to hire a foreign national workers, make sure that your children are only below 12 years old. Otherwise, the application will get refused for the work permit applicant. But if you're hiring somebody inside Canada, you can always offer that job to that foreign national if your children are below 12 years old to 14 years old. So that's okay. You can always fight for that. LMIA can be possible for somebody who has a child between 12 to 14 years old or below. I would like also to clarify about the caregivers for people with high medical needs. Somebody was asking me before, I'm 65 years old, I still work, and I don't need really a caregiver for now. I'm still strong, I don't have illness and everything. But in the rule, it says that when you're 65 years old, you can always hire a foreign worker caregiver. So it's clear in the immigration law that when somebody is 65 years old, they are allowed to hire a caregiver regardless, as long as you have the fund to pay for that foreign worker. So meaning you should have a show money or notice of assessment that is enough to pay for the foreign worker. Now let's go to the program requirement. So there's a processing fee of $1,000 if you are applying for LMIA. So that $1,000 can be free for the government fee if your household income is $150,000 and your children are below 12 years old. You have to pay the $1,000 government fee if your children are 13 years old or above, regardless of your household income. And of course, it's always the age that matters. Okay, so that's an exemption. So in terms of the LMIA, you need recruitment fees. So we're done about the processing fee of $1,000. Next is the recruitment fees. There may be a variety of fees and costs incurred in the processing of recruiting temporary foreign workers, including but not limited to cost of using a third-party representative like us, advertising fee, fees paid by a foreign national for assistance with finding or securing employment, fees paid by an employer for assistance or advice in the hiring of foreign nationals. As an employer, you must confirm and ensure that you or anybody recruiting on your behalf doesn't charge or recover any recruitment fees, directly or indirectly, from the temporary foreign workers. Failure to do so will result in a negative LMIA decision. So that is the language restriction. A distinct language assessment factor has been introduced by the IRPR. As a result, English and French are the only languages that can be identified as a job requirement both in LMIA applications and in job advertisement by employers, unless they can demonstrate that another language is essential for the job. For example, if the employer or the person that needing a care doesn't know how to speak English or French, then they can always look for somebody who knows how to speak in their own dialect or native language. Education, training, or experience. Employers are responsible for ensuring that the temporary foreign workers being hired have all the training, qualifications, and experience required to successfully and safely perform the job duties of the position for which they are hired. temporary foreign workers being hired for NOC, Training, Education, Experience, and Responsibilities. They call it TEER. For thus 5 occupations may require a certain amount of experience, short work demonstration, on-the-job training, or no formal education requirements, and NOC TEER 1, 2, or 3 occupations may require a post-secondary educations. For example, university degree, college diploma. So, regulated occupations. Employers hiring a temporary foreign workers in regulated occupations in Canada must ensure that arrangements are made with the appropriate regulatory body for the certification, registration, or licensing of the temporary foreign worker. A regulated occupation is one where a professional or regulatory body has the authority to set entry requirements and standards of practice that lead to a certification, registration, or license. For example, doctors, nurses with compulsory certification. Immigration, Refugee, Citizenship Canada will consider whether the temporary foreign worker has the necessary qualifications to perform the work in Canada before issuing a work permit. IRCC has established 2 pathways to permanent residency for caregivers, which are caring for children and caring for people with high medical needs. Remember that each pathway has its own language and educational requirements. For detailed information on these requirements, visit the IRCC's Caregiver Close program. Multiple employers. Private household employers can partner with another employer, maximum of 2 official employers, to share the responsibilities of hiring an in-home caregiver. For example, 2 adult children may act as employers of a caregiver for an incapacitated parent. In situations that involve multiple employers, only 1 application is required. However, both employers must meet all the program's requirements and sign all documents. For example, LMA application, employment contract, bedroom description form, or even the representative form. Language proficiency. Employers must ensure that the caregiver being hired speaks, reads, and understands at least one of Canada's official language, English or French. Education, training, or experience. Regulated occupations. Employers hiring a temporary foreign workers in regulated occupations in Canada must ensure that arrangements are made with the appropriate regulatory body for the certification, registration, or licensing of a temporary foreign worker. So IRCC has established 2 pathways to permanent residency for caregivers, which are caregiver for children, caregiver for people with high medical needs. You can also hire a foreign worker with multiple employers. You can also hire a foreign national or foreign worker with multiple employers. You need a Canada Revenue Agency business number. Not all the time though, but it's recommended. A BN or business number is a 15-digit business identifier that the CRA assigns to an employer located in Canada for tax purposes. Then you have to provide record of employment after the employment with that foreign national. You need to provide proof of individual requiring care, like the age and parentage of each child under the age of 18, age for seniors like ID, birth certificate, or old age security identification card. And this is very important. Schedule H, medical disability, chronic or illness certificate. That will gonna make your LMIA free to pay for the government charges. Proof of address, you need to send out also the utility bill. And last one, the financial ability, which is to send out also the notice of assessment for each employers or the household income. Take note that transportation should be given to the foreign national. So employers should shoulder the transportation cost of the foreign national. Housing should be free. You don't charge the foreign worker. Health and workplace safety, you need to get a WSIB insurance. You need the employment agreement or the contract. You can hire for a representative and pay them, and that should be covered by the employer. And of course, make sure that they're licensed. And that's all for now.